Alright, back again, Luke here, and today we've got out the old Famicom, and I figured we could put in this game here. Seireidensetsu Lickle. So, let's pop this in and play some of that. Now, this is a game that I've just been introduced to here not too long ago by a really great YouTuber, goes by the name of Seb, otherwise known as the HalfblindGamer, and he just put up a review on this game, and I instantly went out looking for it, was able to find a copy, and figured we could give this a shot here, so... pop this beast in and turn the old volume on. You can check out the storyline. Basically, storyline is the volcano erupted. There's an evil wizard who burst out of it. The king sent his soldiers out to try and attack the wizard, but the soldiers were all killed. So he told his son, the prince, to send out messages to 4 corners of the world, and they were 4 of the helpers, the 4 people who could clear up the situation and wind up killing the wizard. So that's where a game starts off here. So made by Taito in 1992. Like I had mentioned, this is a game that I just got introduced to here from Seb, otherwise known as HalfblindGamer. But let's jump into it here. Start it up. Now, when you start this up at the beginning here, it'll allow you to either start it or use a password. Easy or normal, those are the only 2 options, so we'll go to normal. And at the beginning here, you can choose from 4 of the main characters that you saw at the beginning. There were 4 scrolls that were sent out, so 4 different little quests here. What we'll do first is we'll go with our dragon. And this is Kikira, the dragon, who has a very cool little ability here. He can just shoot regular normal shots. He can also hover for a little bit. And if you hold down the fire button here for a little while, he can turn different colors. Once he turns purple, it's kind of like a mid-fire shot. And then when he turns red or pink, it's a full shot. You can keep that shot. Just keep it held down and you'll be all set. But a lot of these spots, like the falling water or lava, it's like an instant kill. But a really beautiful game, to be honest. It kind of looks like an independent game. I really never would have thought about this game being released for the old Famicom, and I know Seb didn't either. It was kind of a bit of a surprise there, but a very interesting game nonetheless, and made by Taito, so... You'll notice that there's a hit meter on the upper left-hand corner there. And for some of these enemies here, or for some of these major characters, they have a limit to how much of an energy bar they start off with. But throughout the game, they can wind up getting extra hits here, for example, by collecting these hearts. And that'll fill it up a little bit. But the one downside to it is the enemies, they really do hurt you. They do some serious damage. Anyone who's used to playing some of the older Castlevanias, where it's basically the one hit takes down 4 bars of power, that's kind of the way this game is here as well. And there's one of the soldiers who's kind of taken the dragon away. Now let's see here, what should we go with next? Let's go with our golem. He seems to be pretty cool, and his name's Gunmu. So we got Gunmu here, and interesting thing about Gunmu is he does have a bit of a long reach, but as Seb had mentioned in his video, when he had talked about this, he is quite slow, and he doesn't have very much of a jump, but he is strong. He can hit very far distances, or pretty far distances, and he has the ability to walk on spikes, which is one of the great things about him. Each of these characters has something really special about them, and you'll need all of them in order to complete the game here in one way or another. As you can see here, he's all safe. Whoa! And I just jumped too quickly. Huge mistake there. There is a limit to how many times you can die as well. You have to be kind of careful in the game. Although you can do continues in the game, you really want to try to avoid dying, as it can be a pain when you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the level. There's really no midpoint or anything like that. The game just takes you all the way to the back, to the beginning, so... But graphics-wise, it's pretty interesting. There are quite a few different little items that you can pick up along the way. I'm not 100% sure exactly what item each item does, but Seb here will be putting up a full playthrough on this, so if you guys want to check that out, go over and check out the HalfblindGamer, and he should have a review on this up soon. But the one that he owns is the PAL version. This is a very rare game and very expensive game. I went on the internet to try and find out how much this game was, and just check it out after watching Seb's video. And generally, the PAL version of this game, for just a loose cart, is about $250 to $300. The US version of this is about... as a free life, kind of happens some of the time. The US version was about $400, and for a loose cart and for a complete cart of the US version was like $2,000, so some really hefty prices here. And let's see here. Next up, we'll go with our mouse. This is Cole. And Cole here is basically a really dangerous character to have, as basically when you start off here, he's got one hit, so just the slightest mistake will kill you. Nice thing about him, though, is he can climb up walls and he can climb on the ceiling, but the only thing he has is just bombs, so you really got to be careful. Because just one hit and he'll die, so... But some of the characters here can climb on walls. You'll get to see that in a little bit. Okay, so that one piece that I just picked up there was to extend the life. So that little health meter here. But a really well-designed game, to be honest. Just fantastic. And if you've never played it before, it might be something worth giving a shot. As I had mentioned, though, the game itself can run quite a lot of money. So unless you're pretty rich in the bank, this might not be a game for you. If you can find the Japanese version, it is generally quite cheaper, but even the Japanese version itself will run you about, I'm guessing about $40 or so for a loose cart, so if you can find a loose cart of the game. Luckily, I was able to find a complete boxed version of it, and that was pretty lucky. I think it was just timing. And last up here is our brave Lickle, and once you clear the other stages, you can't choose any other stage. You can only choose the one that you haven't done yet. And he's by far probably one of the most difficult characters to use in the game. Although the mouse is really quite a challenge, so is Lickle. He actually, in this stage especially, he can climb on the ceiling, he can climb on the walls, and things like that, but it's kind of hard to stick to the walls. You kind of have to jump and then press the jump button again in order to stick to the wall. And when you're falling, it's hard to catch on to the wall. So in some parts of this game, there's a couple of sections in this stage where you will need to stick to the wall. And it's kind of a stick or die. If you miss it, you'll wind up falling into like some lava. Like as you can see there, that's kind of a bad fall. You kind of got to press over and then press the jump button again in order to stick to the wall. Now you'll notice you'll see some of the same characters in each stage, just a little bit of a different color for each one of them. And some characters are actually really strong compared to other characters in certain situations. For example, the mouse, Cole, is actually pretty strong with his bombs, but he doesn't last long as far as attacks go. The dragon itself, Kikira, is not exactly the strongest, but does have a lot of mobility and is able to hit many enemies, but... that was kind of stupid. But you can see how much power he took down. Oh, that was lucky. Up here. This is one of those parts where it's kind of like this section here. You either make it or you don't, and you fall to your death, so you gotta be kind of careful. That's pretty much the hardest part in the beginning. The beginning part of the game is not really difficult at all. It's more or less just kind of a tutorial on how to kind of get used to it, but you need the tutorial in order to get used to this game. And then from now, this is where the game starts to speed up a little bit. So everyone's together. Here's the bell that everyone goes into, which allows you to switch between each one of the characters, but the dragon doesn't want to go in there, so you have to fight the dragon, and this is where it gets to become a little bit like Mega Man style here. But if you just keep pumping him full of bullets here on the ground, you can, for the most part, kill him before he kills you. And then he joins your team. But at the beginning, it's like, what? You don't want to go in there? Come on, you know. But it will give you a password for every once in a while here, and you can write that down and add that in at the beginning of the game. And here's where it starts to get challenging. This is where the game starts to pick up a bit. So, by pressing the start button now, we can choose between any of our characters, and kind of like Mega Man, throughout the stage here, you will get different items like this. So let's say I want to give it to a different one of my characters, I can change it, and the music, you'll notice, changed as well by just switching out the characters. Trying to go through this stage as quickly as possible here. Nice little free guy. But a really well-designed game. I think it's a fantastic one. And if you're in the market for it, you're trying to find it, I would definitely try and look for a copy of the Japanese version, as it is the cheapest one. But if you want to go a little bit more rich, you can try and find the PAL one. And then, you know, finally, if you really want to go all out, the US one seems to be the most expensive one. But, yeah. Just want to show you guys a little bit of a look at Lickle here for the Famicom. And this game is also known as Little Samson for the US and European release of the game. But fantastic little game. And made by Taito quality here. So, if you get the chance and you're up for picking one up, I totally recommend it. But that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Oh, and at this point here, if your character does die, you have to start from the beginning of the stage, so at some point, if you feel like you're getting wasted a little bit too much here, what you want to do is switch out into a different character so you can make it through the stage. Although at the end, the boss is going to use quite a bit of your character's lives here, so. And some parts you're really going to want to go quick, as some of these enemies are really going to hurt you a bit. Here's a part where we gotta switch into our mouse. But the switching of the music is pretty awesome. And here's our first boss. You may think that it's quite easy at the beginning here, but this is just a really simple, untrue form here. You'll get a chance to see what I'm talking about here in a second. One more hit or so here, and this is where the real boss comes in. And you can see quite a bit more of a life bar here. We're gonna switch out and use our golem here. Just be cheap. Oh, he stepped on me. Ah, I thought I had him there for a minute. But yeah, I don't want to spoil the game too much for you guys here. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a look at Lickle here, otherwise known as Little Samson for the Famicom. And be sure to go over and check out Seb, HalfblindGamer here on YouTube if you want to watch a complete walkthrough. He'll be putting one of those up here quite soon, so yeah. Thanks for watching. That time was a little bit luckier. One other thing to keep in mind here is with these passwords, they never change. So this is the same password that I received when I played this game the very first time and the second time. So this password so far hasn't changed. So I think it's a pretty universal password that you can use. Just an interesting point there that you guys might want to take note of. But yeah, thanks again.